Now for global business updates, Rotus Oddiri joins us. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Dr. Bati. Good morning, Vimbai. Good morning, Rufai. Really, I don't know, going forward, it might be the global technology updates because the business stuff is now, I really just want to get to the AI.
You're
I'm telling you, but I will take it. But let's just quickly rush to the other stuff. Oil is up because there was a report of apparently U.S. intelligence that Israel is going to attack nuclear facilities of Iran. Not yet, it hasn't been confirmed, but oil jumped. Let's move on from there. Asian stocks are generally positive this morning, save for Japan. You can see Japan is the lone index in the red. Export data came out. Exports fell to the US, could be tariff fears. Let's move on from there. UK inflation came out hotter than expected. These were due to one-offs. We even put a fire emoji for you all. April 3.5, you can see the estimates at 3.3. March was 2.6. There was NHS, a one-off NHS increase, some tax increases for businesses in April, increases in minimum wage, and also an energy price cap that was increased as well. So, they're going to charge people more energy. So generally, inflation is still trending, decelerating in the UK. Let's move on from there. Elon Musk was at the Qatar Economic Forum. He says he's going to spend less money on politics. He also said that Starlink could possibly become a public company, an initial public offering, but he says he's not in a rush to do it. Here he is.
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason. It's possible that Starlink may go public at some point in the future.
And what would be the time frame? What kind of time frame are you considering?
I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush to go public. Public is, I guess, a way to potentially make more money, but at the expense of a lot of public company overhead and inevitably a whole bunch of lawsuits, which are very annoying.
All right, let's get to Nigeria. We got 1 out of 2. I got 1 out of 2. Didn't get Australia, but Nigeria held interest rates. In fact, all parameters were kept in place. 27.5% benchmark, asymmetric corridor plus 500 minus 100, cash reserve ratio at 50 for deposit money banks, 16 for merchant banks, liquidity ratio for at 30%. Governor Cardoso did stress foreign exchange stability. And frankly, the argument is, and it's a persuadable one, that foreign FX has more of an effect on Nigeria than interest rates because of the pass-through effect. Now, you all talked about the information minister and how he was talking about how the reforms from the previous administration may have been painful, but then, there's been dividends. And I've showed that to you in corporate earnings. A couple analyst reports are actually feeding into that. And that's to tie into what Cardoso has been saying about FX. This was a report from Meristem on Nigeria's pharma sector positioned for growth. So they're seeing more positivity there. Quick chart on the exchange rate. You'll see a black bar and a green one, and you'll see them narrow to the right part of the chart. And that's the parallel market on the official rates, essentially bolstering what the governor of the central bank has said, right? So stability means that corporations can plan more, and also it feeds through to prices. So prices, there's less pressure. Also from AfriInvest, they have a report, brewery sector, breweries back to profitability. And we have a quote from the report. In fact, we have AfriInvest coming on the show today to talk about this, where they say that essentially in 2025, we estimate a slower expansion in COGS, which is cost of goods sold, driven by relative stability in the exchange rate on the back of improved FX reserve buffer of the CBN and PMS prices due to Dangote's price leadership impact. All right, let me get to the AI now, which is really what I wanted to discuss. Now, I'm going to tie this in. So let me set this up for you. We had an analyst from Meristem Securities, investment research analyst Lovina Okoro, and I asked her, this is back to the pharmaceutical report, and we'll play the clip now. Why are you positive on the pharmaceutical sector in Nigeria growing? We deliberately stopped the clip where she says because of APIs. Take a listen.
I mean, the Nigerian pharmaceutical market is fragmented. We have several players, and the majority of these players are importers, right, and multinationals, and about 30% are local producers, right? So the government is trying to enlarge that space. Let's have more local producers. And recently, we've also seen major players like Fitsin and Enzo try to invest like to have production plants for APIs. So APIs.
We stop there. If you're a technology person, APIs is application programming interface. It's protocols that allow different software to talk to each other. A simple example is if you transfer money to somebody with your phone and you want to show them proof with a receipt, your bank will generate a receipt. That's one software background there. Then you can post it on WhatsApp to share with them. There are different softwares, but APIs allow WhatsApp to integrate with your bank so you can share a receipt of a payment. I asked Perplexity AI. Now look at this. I said I simply took the YouTube link from our video from the Arise News YouTube channel, and I said, what does the analyst in this video mean by APIs? I didn't mention her name, I just posted the link. It said, certainly, in this context of the video you shared, an interview with Lovina Okoro, investment research analyst at Meristem Securities, discussing Nigeria's pharmaceutical sector, the analyst uses the term API several times. Here's what she means. In this context, API stands for active pharmaceutical ingredients, which are essentially what the administration is trying to bump up to boost the local sector. Speaking of Perplexity, this is a company that was formed in 2022. 3 years ago, the three gentlemen there have worked for Meta AI, DeepMind, Google, and also OpenAI. They just days ago are seeking a funding round of $500 million that takes them to a $14 billion valuation. This is the future. You were talking about going to libraries last week. I don't know what you're going to do in a library, but this is where it is. And this is the free version. The more advanced version, theoretically speaking, you could think of a complicated topic. You could take nuclear physics or quantum computing and put it in an artificial intelligence bot and ask it to break it down for you in plain English. I mean, it's amazing stuff.
You forget I have a background in tech. I was a co-founder of a tech e-commerce company. You can't tell me tech. I will still tell you to a large extent. There's still some information in the libraries of the world, lost libraries, that are still important. If it's not important, since AI started, they will have gone and born the Library of Congress. You still need an harmonization of knowledge.
What tech is good? Do you go to the library?
I have one. I go to many.
So you don't use search. You go to when you want to search for something now.
No,
you go and search with the
listen,
library.
When I'm doing a deeper research work, I still go to take concordance material.
Shall we do a test? Would you like to do a test? Let's do a test. We can
let
take
me
a topic.
do my analysis.
I'm just trying to go ahead. Go ahead.
Give me time.
Go ahead.
Please, it's not an activation. You're not trying to convince me whether you're right or wrong. I know this. I'm in tech.
Yeah.
Secondly, as regards the bulb in pharmaceutical sector,
don't
forget Afrexim Bank gave a loan to Emzor recently. Made some investment. That has started to come in. But other people I also talk to, because I talk to a lot of people in the pharmaceutical value chain. I do a lot in medical outreaches. Says it's not that easy. Apart from this outlier that Meristem will report in their reports, they are not going to the real crux of the society. People that are manufacturing. A lot of them still have to bring in their APIs from the likes of China, which is one of the biggest manufacturers of API, which is still a big problem. So it's not as hard and fast as this report has said. So a report is a reflection of one angle of society. There are many other angles that we talk about. As regards Elon Musk, what do you expect him to say? He's gotten burnt. Do you know, prior to him dabbling into politics, Tesla's reputation used to be about, I think, number 6 or 7 in the world. What's Tesla's reputation in the reputation index today? About 95 out of the first 100 companies. So he's been burnt. And maybe he needs to go and learn from how the Koch brothers did it. The Koch brothers never came out to openly show that they were doing it. They were subliminally putting money in the background. And what he has spent for Donald Trump, that he's making noise, can never be as much as what the Koch brother has spent. I think I need to go.
Real quick.
Elon Musk, we honestly don't have time.
I know, but
we don't have time.
The Meristem report is a 43-page report. It is in-depth. It's not one angle. It covers everything. Go and read it.
Rotus, I also talk to people.
A lot of activity happening around Elon Musk, especially with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa in the United States at the moment. Yesterday, some meetings were held to try and negotiate with Elon Musk, because he's saying that one of his issues is the fact that for Starlink to operate in South Africa, the BEE laws, the Black Economic Empowerment laws in South Africa, say that at least 30% of it must be Black-owned. And he's saying that it's impossible. He's a South African, and he will not allow any part of his business to be owned by a Black person. That's part of the persecution, he claims, against white people. But the unfortunate thing is that they're negotiating ways around it. Now, that's part of the negotiations happening in the United States at the moment. And then last but not least, with Elon Musk as well. Oh gosh, what did I want to say?
With political spending?
With the political spending. Politics is not for the faint-hearted.
Of course.
We learned the hard way.
He has learned it, his lesson.
Okay, I'll try to run through the key issues quickly. Now, as regards the pharmaceutical industry, API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, you will recall that in June 2024, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed an executive order.
That's right.
Which is to remove import tariffs, VAT
waivers,
on imports, because the pharmaceutical industry was complaining about the fact that these APIs are imported. And because of fluctuations in foreign exchange and instability of the naira, the cost of pharmaceuticals continue to go up. And many of the pharma companies cannot function. That is the big issue. The big issue is what happened to that executive order signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What is the status? What is the effect? Now, otherwise, you keep talking about these APIs, and people in pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria will be saying that the president spoke in vain and that they have not seen the effect. That's that about that. Now, as for CBN, I think the CBN, the Monetary Policy Committee, all 12 members voted unanimously. So what they are looking at, it's a conservative approach, a cautious approach. They're saying that 27.5% that they had, declared for MPR at the last meeting, should be retained. And then 30%, that's CRR, right?
Yep.
And then 50% for liquidity ratio, 16% for merchant banks, 50% for deposit money banks. So it's a cautious approach. What they are doing is taking a position to say, okay, let's see how the existing regime works and the effect that it yields. But the question is, they are looking at inflation. They say inflation is down. Well, is that figure realistic? That's one question. But what I take away from the CBN governor's point is that monetary authorities and fiscal authorities need to work together. When they have the next meeting, 21st to 22nd July, we will see, how all this have worked out. There are other issues in the world. Japan, for example, export to the US has gone down by about 1.8%. So Japan is affected by the tariffs.
Indeed.
25%, 24% suspended reciprocal tariff, 10% baseline tariff. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.